What's going on, everybody? My name is River Bonds, but best known as River the Realtor. I am one-fourth of the host of the amazing podcast, Real Talk Atlanta, where we pride ourselves on knowledge and real estate content and really just giving the girls the tea. But today is really important because I am talking about just our start in, the podcast world. It was something that none of us really knew anything about. And the crazy thing is, when we first started, we were at my apartment in the common areas. We had a photographer, videographer that I knew that shot some content for us, but never really podcast content. And we sat at this table and this island, just kind of running our mouths, to be completely honest. When we got the footage back, it was horrible. And that's just really what it was. It just wasn't what we envisioned. And I think when we first started the podcast, we were so focused on the actual content that we didn't really understand what it took to start a podcast. We didn't understand the dynamics of it, how audio worked, how visuals worked, how directing us worked, how even the shows work, right? We knew what we wanted to talk about, but we never sat down and really organized, planned. There was no strategic anything behind what we were doing. So Taisha actually reached out to Anna at Adode Media. She sent us a DM I found this lady, y'all. She right by Peter Street. I love Peter Street. So I'm this is perfect. And we met with her, and Anna was giving us the rundown. Of course, I was late, as usual. And we're well, we're ready to record tomorrow. And Anna literally was are y'all ready to record tomorrow? And we're yes, girl, we already did this before. You don't need to worry about that. We went in and recorded, and it was the worst thing I ever seen in my life. I've seen a lot of horrible things. Like she said, I'm from Chicago. That was the worst thing I ever seen in my life. And we were just so embarrassed because we really thought we knew everything. If I can't do nothing else, I could talk. That day, I'm this ain't it. And so I think after that, we really sat down with Anna, and she kind of really explained to us, it's one thing to be knowledgeable about what you do. To be knowledgeable about what you do and then talk about it on a podcast looks very different, right? You have to have a certain level of organization. You have to have a certain level of creativity, innovation. There's a lot of things that go into, doing a podcast and doing it properly. And I say that not necessarily to scare you guys, but just to understand that if you don't know what you're doing, employ someone that does. I'm super grateful for our experience here at Adode Media just because, she knows what she's doing. We put the real in real estate, and she puts the P in podcasting, okay? She literally teaches us how to come here and just regurgitate the information that we've learned in the field to our viewers, to our listeners, and really just allows this platform to be what it is that we want it to be. In full transparency, I never thought that this podcast would pick up. I know that's kind of crazy, but to me, it's me and three of my homegirls just kikiing about what we do on an everyday basis. And I have gone places, people you're the realtor, and I'm don't gas me up because I'm that person. I'll be hey, y'all, hello to my constituents. But no, seriously, it's just been a very overwhelming experience because we're able to use this platform to really teach and educate. My two biggest things in my life are diversity and education. Those are two things I pride myself on and the two things that I push to teach. And so just being able to educate people on the real estate process and do it in such a way that it's picked up by so many different people on so many different platforms, it's been overwhelming. I would say for my business personally, I think we built the platform of Real Talk Atlanta. But it's four of us, right? We're all co-hosts, and we all have different personalities, different vibrations. We come from different spaces and places. And so for me, I think I bring this comical kind of Chicago energy to the table. That's just who I am. And I try to be that person when I pull up every weekend to the studio. I would say for my personal business, it has grown tremendously. I had don't quote me on the numbers, but I will send y'all a graph. It was probably a little less than 2,000 followers when we started in May, June, July. I don't know. We started end of summer. It's December now, and I'm almost at 4,000 followers. So I've gained a lot of followers on my platform. Just off of the two most recent videos that I've done on TikTok, I've had over 1 million plays. And that is crazy. That means 1 million people have literally scrolled and played my TikTok. And it's always just a snippet of what we've done on Real Talk Atlanta. I've never done any of the dancing, none of that. It's literally just a 30-second clip of things we've done in the studio. And it's worked. I've gained so much, just so many accolades, so much new business, so many new followers. People who really care about what I'm doing in my business and watching me grow, and I've appreciated a lot. Financially, the bag look good, and I'm really happy to keep growing it. Anna will tell y'all, if nobody else quits every week, I do. I quit every week because I'm just so like, I can't do this. I need to be here. I need to do this. And my life runs at a super fast pace. But every time I talk to her, even though sometimes she don't like to answer the phone because she know when I'm calling, she always just kind of reassures me that, it's work. To think that you're going to come in and do a podcast and it's just going to be peaches and cream, you're going to come in here, talk, walk away, that's really just not what it is. If you're not willing to do the work, podcast is not something for you. But if you want to do the work and you want to have a partner that's going to, put you where you need to be and place you where you need to be, this is the right place. Even aside from the podcast, the stuff that she's taught us, we've been able to grow on different platforms, right? Using the podcast to grow our following on social media, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. All of those things have just been super helpful in my business. And me branding myself, my long-term goals really include being in front of people and speaking and educating. And this platform is really aligning with what it is I see for myself in my 5-year goal career-wise. So I'm just grateful above all things. I know we work her nerves, probably me the least, but I know we work her nerves, but she loves it and we love her. This is, I don't know, I just couldn't imagine us recording this podcast anywhere else because there's a really progressive interest in us being the best we can be. It's not necessarily just about money. Anybody can come in here and pay her and she can send them on their way, but she really dives into what we're doing. She's like, this is what I heard in the real estate streets. How can y'all address this on the podcast? She takes a progressive interest in what we're interested in and what we talk about. And she makes herself knowledgeable on the things that we're doing on this podcast to make sure that we show up as our best selves and essentially show up as our best selves on our own platform. So I don't know. I could probably talk for 30 more minutes, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to spare y'all. But tune into Real Talk Atlanta, powered by the one and the only Adode Media. I'm River the Realtor. Y'all can find me on all social media sites at River the Realtor. And if you're looking to do a podcast, if you're looking to start your journey into really growing your platform and speaking in a way that's really going to touch the people that you're looking for, it's no better place to go than Adode Media. I'm not going nowhere, so I will see y'all on the weekends. Thank y'all for coming to my TED Talk.